I'm Mo 3 times. This is Talking Shit, Getting Clicks, and the video that you just saw has been flooding the internet for the past few days. All right, so the other day, early in the morning, I woke up, and I just woke up too early, but I couldn't sleep. So of course, what do? We grab our phones. I start scrolling. I'm on Instagram. I bypass Matt Barnes' page. He's good peoples. He hosts a podcast with Steven Jackson called All the Smoke. Very good podcast. Check them out. They be having those, ex-athlete insights and a whole bunch of, good ass wisdom. They talk about a lot of sports, but they also talk about social issues and, popular culture type things. So, check those boys out. But I went across Matt's page and I was scrolling and I came across this video that I just showed you guys in the opening of the show. And let me tell you what, I was met with a range of emotions like, yo, are we still doing this shit in 2022? Like, why are we still doing this in 2022? And I was just angry. I was frustrated. It was kind of hurt. I just had a whole bunch of negative emotions where I tried to count down from 5 backwards, to trick my brain. I tried all my meditation techniques and I was still very, very, very frustrated with this video. So what I did was like, hey, I'm up. Let me go up into the hut, drop this down, throw this up in the reel and speak on it. And let me tell you what, it's 4:00 in the morning. I'm sipping my coffee and I had nothing to say. I had a whole bunch of emotions. I had a whole bunch of different words and feelings rolling around in my head that I wanted to get out to the people, but I don't know if it was just 4:00 in the morning. I was still sleepy, but I couldn't say anything. So I came back today and I rewatched the video and I was on Matt Barnes' page again, even though there are way better editions of that video that you can find on the internet if you want to see a little clearer version or anything like that. But I mean, it's suitable. Basically, I was like, damn, I could not speak on this. And then I looked at the title the post. Matt Barnes actually posted it with a little message and he was like, he was speechless. And I was like, yo, I as well, sir. I am very speechless over seeing this shit. Let's work through it. Why did this video anger me? Clicking on it, I knew it was going to be some bullshit. I expected it to be like, a bunch of white kids surrounding some black kids and just basically just hazing the shit out of them, But it wasn't. The first thing you see in the video is you see a Mexican kid front and center pointing at these guys. And other than the guy saying, what the fuck, because that's extremely annoying. Let the children sing. But they're in there and they're actually having a mock slave auction, auctioning off what seems to be 3 black American kids. Insane, guys. Insane.
Crazy, deranged.
And insane, guys. Right. So, the first thing that actually jumped out to me and bothered me was that, all right, first of all, these 3 guys are being actually held in what seems to be a mock slave auction. And the first front and center person I see that's actually participating in this is what seems to me to be like a little Mexican kid. And he's like, and he's trying to buy this guy for $200. I wonder if it's a Bitcoin. But that angered me because I was like, yo, Black Lives Matter, even though it said Black Lives Matter. And I'm not talking about the actual organization. I'm just talking about the hashtag and the movement behind Black Lives Matter was about police brutality. And even though it said Black Lives Matter, nobody was lost on the fact that blacks included all other type of, for the lack of a better word, minorities in this movement. When you think about kids in a high school holding a mock slave auction and it's like you're expecting it to be a whole bunch of white guys and some, little black guys up there that they're just hazing and bullying around. And that wasn't the case. The first people I see and a lot of people I see in there is not actually white people, even though they are in that video. And I played it a couple times just so you guys can get a couple extra, looks at it. But it's Mexican kids. But I kept it going because, it's a short little video and it gives you just a short clip. And I'm just looking around and yeah, we see some white dudes and And then I'm getting angry at the guy saying what the fuck over and over again. I'm getting upset at the fact that whatever bullshit they're doing, these kids are doing it live. They were live streaming a mock slave auction, and that pissed me off to no end, guys. So I'm angry at the little Mexican kid for participating in this, and then I'm angry at the guy saying what the fuck, because that's annoying over and over again when you live stream. I'm just saying it really is. And I'm angry at the whole situation. And then I looked, and probably the 8th pass, it caught on my brain. I said, yo, those are 3 Black American kids standing up there allowing themselves to be mock auctioned off as slaves. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck were they thinking? I don't want to just slap. I want to slap all 3 of the kids, and then I want to go have a talking shit getting clicked parent conference, not parent teachers, a parent talking shit getting clicked conference with their fucking parents or guardians, and I want to smack the shit out of them. I just want to smack the shit out of them because, yo, that's not how I was raised. So I took this video in personally, and I made it my own, and I empathized, and put myself in people's shoes. And I told myself, Maurice, no matter, even at your weakest moment, I would never subjugate myself for somebody else's fucking bigoted idea of a prank, bro. Why?
I said, hold on. I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Something's not right. And then I saw all of the press that this incident was getting, and it was a lot of people, and a lot of people had a whole bunch of different opinions. All of the students involved were suspended, which I think maybe was a bad idea. Well, they were kicked off the football team, basically. So much so that there are so many seniors and juniors on that team that the ones that participated were basically kicked off the team, were suspended from the team. And there's so many kids that took place in this act that they can't even fill the varsity high school football team anymore.
You stupid.
Was that a good punishment? No, it's not a good punishment. Hang out with me. We'll get back to that part about the punishment. What really angered me about those 3 black kids standing up there is that they just came off as weak to me. I'm a little old school, as you can see, the salt and pepper beard, the sexy salt and pepper. Like, growing up, I was always told, and if you were also told this as a black person, if you were told it as a white person, please comment and let me know. But as a black person growing up, I was told that, hey, for me to make it in this world, I had to be 10 times better than the next man, because I already got some things going into the world that are against me, especially in American society. I don't want to have an argument about bigotry. I don't want to have an argument about race in America, because sometimes it just seems to me just such a waste of time. And it's tiring. As my experience as a black American growing up in America, I was always told that I had to work 10 times as hard as the next guy, that I had to be smarter, stronger, and tougher, and I always had to get my respect, demand my respect, not just receive respect, but give it, and make sure I better well receive it. Make sure that you're respectful and humble, but don't allow no bullshit, and don't allow nobody to fucking cut you. With no bigotry, at least. And these kids didn't learn that lesson, and that angered me. But also I had to understand that these are kids. We're in a whole new generation. It's a lot of pressure. But when you give a little kids pressure when they're young, they don't know. They don't know they're carrying that weight still. But I'm under the opinion that these 3 boys that were up there, young men, I don't think they got that speech. Listen to this video. All right, so a couple months ago, I saw this video, and it basically sums up the speech that most black kids got growing up. Let's check it out.
Daisy! Listen, before we leave, we gotta have that talk, okay? You a pit bull, which means people are gonna label you a monster the minute they lay eyes on you. You can't be out here in these streets acting a goddamn fool like these chihuahuas because you don't get no second chances. You always gotta be on your best behavior, and I know that's hard, okay? And people are gonna make up lies about you and say that you have a locked jaw and you were born to be dangerous. You're gonna see mothers picking up their kids and walking across the street and or around the cars, and that's okay. I want you to remain humble and hold your head up high and know that you the shit. You can't help that people are ignorant. All you can do is do your best and know that you are the most amazing dog in the whole entire world, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that you make it to your 3rd birthday, okay? Mama loves you. Grab your things and let's go to daycare.
Please, in the comments, if you heard that speech or any type of speech kind of like that, let me know. Let me know. Thumbs up it, share, like, comment, subscribe. Do all that good shit. Yo, I thought that video was perfect. And of course, I am an owner of a pit. And he's so goofy and loving and fun and greedy. And he's in here right now just fucking up all my shows. Wanting snacks from him video. He's fucking up all my shows wanting snacks and wanting to go out to pee and chase fucking squirrels and shit. But yo, honestly, we put that in a joke. It was a joke on TikTok, but when I heard that voice, I kind of got the raised arm hairs because I've heard that speech before. And yes, it's funny, but also when you really think about it, it is insanely sad because that same speech that mother, the pitbull mama, had is usually what black moms and fathers have with their kids. And it doesn't seem to me like those 3 gentlemen in that video got that message at all, guys. You want to keep going? So that's right. I'm staying on those 3 boys. Like I'm blaming it on them. They were the ones that should have been like, nah, I'm not doing this. This is whack. Y'all are fucking nuts. Really, the entire team. And for the time, the life and times that we are in now currently, all of those kids knew better. Still, they fucked up. They made a mistake. We're definitely going to forgive them. And you want to know why? We're going to forgive them because they're fucking kids, bro. They're babies. They don't know no better. That's a lie. That's a lie. But they're babies.
It's just a baby.
They know better, but they still don't realize consequences of their acts. And I don't know. This new generation has a very, very visceral sense of humor. Yeah. So this news has been all around the internet and people have been commenting on it. Just going across trying to do this show, I did see a video from TYT, the Young Turks, and let's check this video out.
Absolutely. That's why I think the punishment here for these players really needs to be relevant to precisely what they did, because an unintended consequence of this is now the black members of that sports team are not going to be able to play a season, right? If you're counting on your football career to be your ticket into college, if you enjoy playing football, guess what? Now you can't play a season. And so now they're being punished for the behavior of their ignorant teammates. I really think when we look at this from a perspective of restorative justice, what would be relevant would be mandatory education on the history of slavery. They should have to stay after school, the members of the team that decided to make this TikTok and do this thing, because that would be the thing that addresses the root cause of the problem, which is their ignorance about slavery, so much so that they're willing to make a joke out of it.
So yeah, that was TYT's Jessica Burbank just giving her 2 cents in on this situation. What I did not agree with was she kind of absolved the 3 black students that stood up there, while me, as a black man, they're the worst perpetrators of the crime. If the team is getting kicked off the football team, they definitely need to be at the front of the line of getting kicked off the football team because they knew better. They knew better. These kids knew better. They knew better. So no, the black kids don't get any pass, Jessica Burbank, but I will give you this. I don't think the punishment fit the crime, and obviously, these kids do need some type of instruction or re-instruction if they've already received the instruction, but they do need to know the seriousness of slavery. Why is slavery, why is having a mock slave auction funny to these kids? Because yeah, I'm blaming the kids, but ultimately, people like me, it's our fault. The elders, the older people, it's our fault. Specifically in the black community, it's our fault. These kids weren't having, they weren't in that locker room where they could have actually transformed that locker room into a shower, a poisonous shower like Auschwitz type of deal. They could have made a Holocaust prank. They could have made a Trail of Tears prank and have them walking. They could have made so many pranks dealing with atrocities that have happened throughout the history of the world and America, but they chose fucking slavery. Why? Because it was easy for them. We allow it to be easy for them. And that's an issue that I have. These 3 young black men stood up there and subjugated themselves to a mock slave auction. There are kids in there which were mostly children of color. They participated. When you look at the video that I played kind of like 3 or 4 times in the beginning of the show, you can see the white kid and he's like laughing, but he even looks kind of nervous over there. I'm putting this on the POCs. I'm putting it on the POCs. Yeah, they should have definitely got the pit bull talk. The lady who gave that talk to her pit bull got that talk from her parents, and she remembers it. And yeah, of course, we got a sense of humor about it. You know, it's very tough to get through this life without having a sense of humor. And I understand those kids were playing. I think they were just being ignorant. I don't think they meant any, harm, or they weren't trying to hurt their teammates. And the intentions probably weren't hurt, even though they were doing hurtful things. And that is the true sign of immaturity. But these are kids, so Jessica Burbank, I disagree. I think all the kids should have been equally reprimanded and punished and like retrained to figure out where they went wrong and how they really should have handled this issue. I think they should definitely take sensitivity classes, diversity training. They should definitely learn about African American history, especially the slave trade. But here we are fighting for CRT. Oh Lord, we're not even going to do a CRT thing because critical race theory is not taught in high school. Critical race theory is more like a college elective. You know what I mean? For people who are studying law and criminal justice, it's not for the babies. It was a made-up debate by the conservatives. However, what people like me have been saying is that, February, Black History Month, we're going to learn about Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass. We're going to learn about Rosa Parks. We're going to learn about Harriet Tubman. We're going to learn about Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks. When they talk about blacks in America, they're going to talk about the slave trade, and maybe you might get a Harlem Renaissance lesson in there somewhere. We already know that's out the window, guys. We already know that's out the window. So, yeah, that also brings in the subject of us actually teaching American history in a more realistic and truthful way. That would always be nice. These kids didn't have that. I don't think that the football team should be suspended. I'm going to tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think the football team should be suspended. Right, so I don't think that the football team should be suspended. I don't think those kids should be kicked off the football team. We understand that playing high school sports is a privilege. It is actually a greater responsibility heaped upon the students, and they should get the rewards of, being standouts among their classmates and being able to compete against other schools and stuff like that. They are not in prison. They're not in jail, even though I know our education system kind of leans towards sending all of these kids and getting them all ready for prison, but they're not in prison. They should still be learning. So I think this was a teachable moment, because really, I don't get that there was any malice. I think the black kids were up there because they were all friends, and I think they all were just fucking kids, and they were confused, and they were just doing what kids do. Hormones and shit, I'm giving them a pass on that. The football team definitely shouldn't be suspended. This is what should happen to the football team. The football team, they should all be brought together. There should all be a speech, if there hasn't been one already, to talk about what they did and why it was wrong. But they should have to do community service. They should have to go to school, go to football practice, and then with whatever little time that they have left in the day, they should be doing some type of community service in order to continue throughout the football season. This community service should last throughout the football season. And then as soon as they're done community service, or even during community service, they're going to have a class, and they're going to talk about the slave trade. They're going to talk about diversity. They're going to talk about being sensitive to such issues. And then once they receive proper instruction, all of them that took part in it. Matter of fact, you know what, guys? It's a football team, so it's kind of one team, one fight. Everybody's in together. What they're going to do is, after they receive that instruction, they should all have to write a well thought out and well written apology note apologizing to their fellow students. And I'm including the 3 black kids that subjugated themselves to this mock auction. They should apologize to their parents. They should apologize to their school, faculty, staff, and everybody that they embarrassed with that. And especially, they should send at least I'm sorry, dog text to me. I want my I'm sorry, dog text. But yeah, that's what they should do, because we should teach the kids, man. You can't just be punishing the kids like that. I mean, a lot of them look forward to football. A lot of people I know made it through school only because they knew they had to go to school in order to play a sport that they love. So let's not take that away from them. Let's just make them have to be a little bit more tougher, disciplined, and mindful to keep on being in that position as a varsity football player on a team. The other reason why I think it's bad for suspending the team is because I believe they had a roster that was about 40 players, mostly made up of seniors and juniors. So the kids that weren't involved in this nonsense, if they were seniors and they weren't involved, their season's fucking over. Like, it's over. Like, if they were trying to get a scholarship to go to college and they needed scouts to watch them play or something, that shit's through for them. The younger kids that made it to varsity that weren't there have the ability to be reabsorbed by the JV team. They can be reabsorbed by the JV team. However, think about it. There's kids on the JV team right now getting their playtime, and now their playtime's about to be cut in half because some kids in their school that are a little better athletes and made it to varsity are coming back, and they're going to be reabsorbed into the junior varsity program, which means that the kids that need to be building their strength so they can work up to the varsity level aren't going to be able to get all of that playtime, because obviously I'm going to put the best players in football so I can win some games. I'm going to put the best players in as a coach so I can win some games. That's just point blank, period. So, I mean, ultimately, when you do that, when you have a varsity player that's coming back to play JV and they're taking somebody's spot who's actually who actually made the JV team, that's going to stunt the growth of their actual football program. And I think that high school athletics are very important to keeping kids also in shape, to keep them disciplined and keep them interested in going to school. So let's not take that away, but let's make them really, really earn that ability to play on Fridays or Saturdays or whenever they play in high school. But how could this happen, yo? How could this happen? How could this shit happen? You know what? Guys, I know I'm late to the party, and I know everybody's been all over the internet with this, but let me tell you why you're here watching the Me episodes, because it's me, and you know that I dig a little deeper for you guys. I dig a little deeper for you guys. Yo, there have been more incidences at this school. There was an incident at this school about 7 months ago involving a fucking guidance counselor. Let me just play it for you.
Now, police have arrested a high school guidance counselor. They say he sent racist, threatening messages to a coach at another high school.
And actually, we're now hearing from the man targeted in those messages. Let's go to KCRA 3's Lizzie Mitri. She spoke with the man. She joins us now live in Yuba City. Lizzie.
Elston, that family says they've had some sleepless nights and called a series of voicemails they got disturbing, especially considering the man arrested for making them is a counselor here at Yuba City High School.
We love you. I'm sorry.
Maurice Clavella and his family say they're scared and hurt.
It's just so sad. It's really sad.
The varsity softball coach at Marysville High School says he got call after call and voicemail after voicemail Sunday from the father of one of his players, apparently upset over the position she played during a scrimmage.
It wasn't just one phone call, it was numerous calls.
Close to 20.
In a row, maybe more.
Yeah.
With threatening messages like this one.
Look forward to splitting your face in half. Look forward to proving what a loser you are. And I said it on the phone. I'm going to have fun with you, Mo. I'm going to track you down.
The threats included racist and homophobic language.
You're like, wow, like this is happening in 2022.
Marysville police say this is the man responsible. They arrested Todd Tyler this morning after pulling him over here, and they say he had a loaded gun in his car. KCRA 3 has learned Tyler is a counselor at Yuba City High School. Here's his biography on the school website.
This man should not be working for a school district, period.
Yuba City Unified School District says Tyler is on administrative leave, and they call the actions that police say led to his arrest reprehensible and deeply troubling. Actions Clavell says he felt it was important to speak out against, setting an example for his students.
These kids see me, they see some other coaches at our school, and we're there for them to look up to. And my dad went through all this in the 60s, marching and growing up in segregation. But not today, not to me. It's not going to happen.
Police say Tyler is charged with making criminal threats, hate speech involving threats, and for carrying a concealed gun in his car. Live in Yuba City, Lizzie Mitri, KCRA 3 News.
Guidance counselor. Hate speech. Told you. It's our fault. Yeah, so this incident with the guidance counselor took place about 7 months ago. Let's talk about what happened just merely a year ago.
New tonight, we're hearing from people in the community of Wheatland after a photo of some high school students posing with Nazi symbols painted on their chests started circulating widely on social media.
KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo has the reaction to this post that's gone viral.
In a message to the community, Wheatland Union High School District Superintendent confirms a group of teenagers posing for a photo with Nazi hate symbols painted on their bodies in a social media post are, in fact, Wheatland Union High School students.
I was quite shocked.
KCRA 3 choosing not to show the now viral social media post of the minors, but it has been seen and commented on by hundreds of thousands of social media users. Locals fear putting Wheatland on the map in a bad light.
Do we blame the parents? Do we blame the school education?
The superintendent was not available for an on-camera interview tonight, but she did tell us she plans to address the community at some point next week.
So yeah, Wheatland High in the Yuba City School District, they have issues with their school district. We've seen 3 black kids on a mock auction block. We've seen 1 guidance counselor go absolutely knuckin' fucks. And we have now seen an incident about another high school in the same school district having issues with kids having a Nazi party. That incident did take place off of school grounds, so the superintendent did have to get legal involved with it. But if you guys want to see the picture that was circulating social media last year. Just last year, only thing you need to do. Wait a second. There it is. SS, swastikas. Oh wow, underage kids with alcohol. The alcohol bottles aren't blurred. Is that Bacardi? Is that the Bacardi? So yeah, they had a party. Look, they're having some issues in Yuba City School District. We just seen 3 incidences that took place over the last 24 fucking months. And really, these really weren't going nationally without social media. If Matt Barnes hadn't grown up an hour and some change, I quote, he grew up an hour and some change away from that school district, I mean, I wouldn't even have known what was going on. I did see it around social media, to be honest, but like, man, I think this entire school district needs to get some national news attention, needs a spotlight shined on it. You want more? I'm gonna give you more.
Yeah, and the thing is that this isn't necessarily something new. We've seen this at a lot of schools across the country where these kids think it's completely and totally acceptable. For example, last year in Oregon, parents at Newburgh High School, they found that some of their kids were either participating in or targeted by a social media group chat that was called Slave Trade, which joked about how much participants would pay for their black classmates in a slave auction. A similar incident happened at Aledo High School in Texas, where students also created a social media group called the N-word auction, pretending to auction off their black peers. And some educators have gotten in the action. Back in 2019, a teacher at an elite private school in New York was fired after holding mock slave auctions in 5th grade classes, placing black students in imaginary shackles. The auction simulated the black students being sold like slaves to their white counterparts. It really shows us that some people are well aware of what slavery was, but they just do not care. They don't know, or they don't fully appreciate or give a damn about the degradation, about the rape, the abuse, the torment, the lives that were destroyed, and how some of the consequences of slavery are still very much felt today. That legacy continues.
So there we have it. Incidences like this have been occurring throughout the country, not just Yuba City School District. And really, it's just so to know that the newest generation that's about to enter American society as adults still have that vigor for bigotry and racism sends chills down my spine. And what's more horrifying is that the people that are actually oppressed are getting in on the action, and that is so demoralizing. Very, very demoralizing. So how could this happen? Ultimately, I think things such as the public denouncement and demonization of CRT, aka critical race theory, that's usually taught at a college level and is right now being used as a tool for conservatives to erase all traces of America's participation in the mid-Atlantic slave trade and the founding of American society on the backs of the enslaved. Because if we do that, then we don't have to talk about the continued exploitation of black, brown, red, yellow, and lower class white people. Perhaps these kids are extremely susceptible to the daily bigoted dog whistles from prominent political leaders. Maybe it's their own teachers that's giving them examples, like their guidance counselor. I'm not totally sure about this, but as a black man who was once a black teenager, who played on sports teams, I know that we cannot afford to subjugate ourselves to the avoidable nonsense. We got so much shit going on in our lives as black people already. We don't need to help dig our own holes. And that's what those 3 black kids were doing. And that's ultimately who I find responsible for this, because as I showed with the lady talking to her pit bull, if they didn't get that speech, they should have got that speech. But they should know that from the jump, as a black people in America, you are at a disadvantage. I think these kids should be reminded before and going forward, should be made aware that they cannot afford to be a part. They cannot afford to be followers. They got to be group leaders. They have to be the most mindful, responsible, and serious in the way they treat people and allow themselves to be treated. I'm Mo 3 times. Let me know what you think about this, guys. There's so many things that we can cover in here, but if you made it to the end of this, yo, hit me with a comment. For real. Hit me with a comment, like, share, subscribe. Definitely share. It helps. It helps the algorithm. Definitely share this. Talking shit, getting clicks. I'm Mo 3 times. You know who I am. I am Mo 3 times. Let the children sing. Talking shit, getting clicks, original podcast. Yeah, that's me, Mo 3 times. And you have been watching the Me episodes of Talking Shit, Getting Clicks, Let the Children Sing. Those are my socials. Check them out. Check out my socials. Check out my socials.